Hello Science Alliance, hello, I am Lara, this is Theatre of Science. I stream free live lessons to home educators. I'm trained to teach science up to secondary school level, but I've got a drama degree, so we're doing Shakespeare. We're doing Shakespeare's sonnet. I'm really excited about this because I've always been a little bit intimidated by the word sonnet. It just sort of sounded super fancy and I didn't really know what it was. So Shakespeare, probably most famous for writing plays in the late 1500s. He wrote over 150 of these sonnets. So we'll talk about sonnets in general. We're going to talk quite a lot about astronomy today. And then we'll look at specifically one of Shakespeare's sonnets. So I asked you, first of all, did you have a ponder over this? I was quite pleased to see some people getting this wrong on Facebook when I taught this yesterday. It's no fun if you all just know. Why, if you take a really long photo of the stars, do they look like a circle? All right? So if you get a camera and you do what's called a long exposure, basically just have the shutters of the camera open all night in a field, keeping the camera still, you see this circle shape. Why is that? There's a common misconception that means a lot of people think something which is in fact wrong. So we'll think about that later. Okay, so the first thing we just need to do is to think about how sonnets rhyme. So yeah, it turns out you probably know loads of different poetic forms even though you don't realise it. So there's loads of different types of poem. Like a limerick is a type of poem. You heard of a haiku, like what they have in Japan? That's a type of poem. A sonnet is just another type of poem, and you've probably been able to tell what a haiku is or maybe what a limerick is without even thinking about it, but a lot of it is to do with the rhyme structure. Okay, so have a look at this. We need to talk about rhyme structure. Here's a limerick by Edward Lear. Edward Lear, really famous for writing limericks. This is the best one that I could find. There was an old man who supposed that the street door was partially closed, but some very large rats ate his coats and his hats, while that futile old gentleman dozed. Right, this is a type of poem called a limerick, and one of the reasons we know that is because of how it rhymes. So what you do is you say, okay, the first line we'll say that is rhyme structure A, and then the second line, look, it rhymes with A, so we say that that's A as well. All the A's rhyme. Line 3, gasp, does not rhyme with the first two, so we'll call that B. But rhyme 4, it does rhyme with line 3, so we call that B. Yeah, you've got it, okay. And then the next one, if that was a different rhyme again, we would call that C. But look, it rhymes with the first two, so that's A again. So we would say that a limerick has the rhyming structure A, B, B, A. Yeah? You got it? You got it? Yeah, all right, well, if you think you've got it, I'll just give you, I think I've just done four poems, and I want you to tell me, it's multiple choice, what is the rhyme structure of these poems? If you like, so easy, I've done it. All right, think also about when do you think the poem was written as well, because I've tried to choose some interesting poems. Here's an absolute classic. I was very surprised to hear the truth about this poem. I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It makes the peas taste funny, but it keeps them on the knife. What's the rhyme structure of that? Is it 1, A, B, A, B, or 2, A, B, C, A, or 3, A, B, B, A? And when do you, if you think that's obvious, when do you think it was written? Do you know who wrote it? Okay, well, honey doesn't rhyme with life. So we've got an A and then we've got a B, but funny rhymes with honey, so that's A again, and then knife rhymes with life. So the rhyme scheme is A, and then a B, and then an A, and then a B. I was fascinated to find that actually nobody knows who wrote this poem. Every country, like America's got the person that they think wrote it, and England's got the person that they think wrote it, but we don't know. It was read apparently on American radio in the 1940s, so it must have existed by then, but it's a non. You think of a non-poems as being sort of very serious, but yeah, there you go. Anyway, right, next one. Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting. All there's left to do is run. You'll be the prince and I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes. Definitely the least coolest thing I've ever done, reading that out like that. What's the rhyme structure of this poem, if it is a poem? Do you know who wrote this? Is it number 1, A, B, B? Is it number 2, A, B? Or is it number 3, A, B, C? I think you'll have different opinions here. I was going to say, you know, it's English, isn't it? It's not science. Can it be right or wrong? I've given a right answer anyway. Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting. All there's left to do is run. You'll be the prince and I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes. So it depends whether you think alone and run rhyme, doesn't it? Princess and yes definitely rhyme. So the last two letters must be the same. So it's either number 1 or number 3. I think alone and run are supposed to rhyme. This is, because I'm trying to be like totes down with the kids. This is a Taylor Swift song, because you keep telling me you love Taylor Swift, from 2008. It's a song in it, so we've got to give them a break. I think alone and run are supposed to rhyme. Alone, run. They're quite similar sounds, aren't they? I've said number 1. You know, it's a poem. You got to give them a little bit of leeway, I think. But if you said 3, there's no argument for that, isn't there? Okay, next one. This is Latin. I shouldn't read it out really, but I'm gonna for fun. You don't need to understand what this means. What's the rhyme structure? And when do you think it was written? Why if I put this one in? I've never learned Latin in my life. So here it goes. Sit viciorum miorum evacuatio concupiscente. I'm having a great time. Et libidinis exterminatio caritatis epetiantiate humilitatis et obediente omnicucubitutium augmentatio. What's the rhyme structure of that? Is it AABBA? Is it AABBB? Or is it AABBC? If you're just joining us live, and that's totally, you haven't, I don't want to put myself down, but you haven't really missed anything. We haven't even really learned what a sonnet is yet, except it's a type of poem. So we're just learning about rhyme structure so that we understand it. Well, do you know what this is? This is the first limerick ever that we ever know of. It was written by an Italian monk, Thomas Aquinas, who's apparently a very big deal if you like Catholic history. It was written in the 1200s. Did you guess that from the rhyme structure? It's got the rhyme structure of a limerick, hasn't it? Now, different types of poems have kind of traditionally different themes as well. Like you might know that a limerick is traditionally sort of quite funny or quite rude. Actually, there were quite a few limericks on the internet that I couldn't show you because this is a children's show. And haikus are sort of often about nature. Sonnets are often about love, okay, and romance. This is the first limerick that we know of. This isn't funny or rude. This is just, I don't know, how great God is or something. But anyway, I think this is the last one. This is one of my favourite poems, this. Tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Success in circuit lies. Too bright for our infirm delight, the truth's superb surprise. As lightning to the children eased, with explanation kind. The truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind. What's the rhyme structure of that little beast? Tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Success in circuit lies. Too bright for our infirm delight, the truth's superb surprise. As lightning to the children eased, with explanation kind. The truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind. Is that A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D? Is it A, B, C, B, D, E, F, D? Or is it A, B, C, B, A, D, C, A? Quite tricky, this one, isn't it? So this is a poem by Emily Dickinson, written in the 1870s. She basically just sort of stayed in her bedroom pretty much her whole life writing poems, and then she died and people went into her bedroom and thought, oh wow, these are really good. So we're not quite sure when they were all written. Well, I think the easiest thing to do is to say, okay, slant is the first rhyme, that's A, and then slant doesn't rhyme with anything else. So it must be the option that doesn't have any other A's in it, like slant doesn't rhyme with delight, and slant doesn't rhyme with blind. So it must have been number 2. Well done if you spotted that. I think that was the most complicated one. All right, so sonnets then. A sonnet, when it usually has 14 lines, it's actually an iambic pentameter. We've done this already in our past Shakespeare lessons. I'm not going to go on about it. If you don't know, that's totally fine. But iambic pentameter very basically means it's got 5 da-dums in each line. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. That's like the rhythm of each line. 10 syllables, basically. Now, sonnets were actually invented in Italy, sort of led by this chap called Petrarch. So Petrarchan sonnets are the most famous and most common type of sonnet. And they've got the rhyme scheme A-B-B-A, A-B-B-A, C-G-E, C-G-E. But the English sonnets, I didn't know this until I started teaching this. Shakespearean sonnets or English sonnets use a different rhyme scheme. Do you know why? The Shakespearean has got more letters in, A, B, A, B, but then it's C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and then G, G at the end. Do you know why? It made me a bit sad, this, to find this out. It's because apparently Italian, the language of Italy, has more rhyming words in it than English language. So they can use like 4 lines with the same rhyme in, whereas we could only use 2. We didn't have enough words. So I thought it made me feel sad. But I shouldn't feel bad. Instead, I'll feel glad that we got any kind of sonnet at all. Anyway, so Shakespeare's sonnets. He wrote about 150 of these things, and they all use this rhyme scheme. A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, little G, G at the end. And that cheeky little rhyming couplet at the end is apparently quite important. It might be like a conclusion or a question or even a twist. Ooh, right. Should we get on and read this sonnet then? So, yeah, he wrote over 150 sonnets. This is so annoying because this is supposed to be a lesson about Sonnet 116. I just want to do a little science activity, and then we're going to read the sonnet, and I want you to say why you think we did this science activity. So if you brought a glass of water with you and a pen, that's all you need for this first one. We will look a little bit in the end about why stars twinkle, and you need the glass of water again. What I want you to do for this one is just ideally put the glass on the edge of a table or the edge of a chair. You need it to be on the edge because the first thing I want you to do is to look down on the glass and draw a line where the water line is. So obviously you can see the line where the top of the water is. I want you to draw on pen. It's all right, it'll wipe off. Draw with a little felt tip pen. Make the line as kind of thin as you can. Don't make it really big and thick. Just draw a little mark where the water line is, but do it from looking down on your glass as much as you can. Okay, so shuffle over here, I'll do it with you. So look right down on it. So you've got to be able to see the waterline, obviously. That's good. So I'm looking right down. It's quite hard to do. If you're not doing this, you can check that I've done it correctly. I'm going to say there. Just draw a little line in pen there, okay? Make it nice and thin. And then after that, if you've done that, I want you to do the same thing, but from as low down as you can, looking up on the glass. Don't draw in exactly the same pace. Draw a little bit to the side. All right, let's do it. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. So going down and then looking up. We actually, if you come to my live streamed IGCSE physics lessons, we did this fairly recently. Okay, so now I'm looking up. I'm looking up as I possibly can. And I'm going to do it again. I'm looking through the camera. Oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. Everything is, my knees are uncomfortable, my eyes are, anyway. Come on, Laura, just do it. There, that looks right then. I think that's absolutely perfect, actually. Okay, so if you've done that, then get to the level of the glass and see what has happened. Oh, omg.com/wow. Can you see that those lines are in different places? Completely different levels. I should have drawn them a little bit closer together than that so we could see. But then, can you see that the first line, much, much higher than the second line? When we looked down on it, the line was higher, and when we looked up on it, the line was lower. What's going on there? Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to read this, actually get to reading some of this sonnet. And while we're reading the sonnet, I want you to say, what has this sonnet got to do with that activity? Okay? While we're reading through, what has that activity got to do with this sonnet? Okay, so sonnet 116. I've got a drama GCSE, right? And an English Lit GCSE, and then I got a drama A-level and an English Lit A-level, and then I went to university and got a first class drama degree. I pulled up this sonnet because I knew I was going to teach you about this sonnet, and it turns out I've heard of it, but I read this first line, and this is how I felt. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. That's the first line of Sonnet 116. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. I don't get it. I was just like, let me not to the marriage of true mind. Let me not to the marriage of true... I don't get it. I read it 100 times, just getting more and more irritated. I was like, well, okay, impediments, right. Impediments means a sort of obstacle, something that makes something difficult, something that gets in the way. If you impede someone's movement, you stand in front of them. But admit, right? Admit means let in, doesn't it? You could admit one to the cinema on your ticket or something, but admit also means confess. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. What? The marriage of true true minds. All right, so it's sort of true love, like two minds are getting married. Two minds are coming together. So this person's saying, don't let me, when two minds are coming together, get in the way. I thought, right, I'm just going to move on. And then I really got into it, and it started to make sense. Here it is. Let me not, it doesn't mean anything. I've just done some blue and some black, so I thought that might make it easier to read for you. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark, that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Oh, all right. After the first line annoyed me, I started to really get into it. So, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. I won't get in the way of the marriage of true minds. Actually, this bit is interesting because we think that Shakespeare was writing this to a man, and in these days, men weren't allowed to get married. Obviously, they can now, but in those days, they couldn't. So it's an interesting, if he's talking about the minds of two men sort of falling in love and coming together, it's maybe a cheeky little use of this word. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. So he said that sonnets are usually about love, and this is no exception. I like that. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. In other words, if you really love someone, it doesn't matter if their love alters or if they remove their love from you. If you really love them, your love should stay the same. If someone else is like, I'm just going to remove my love, don't help them do it. Don't assist them. Like, no, keep it there. Anyway, the next bit is what I was really interested in, some physics teacher. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. So the phrase ever fixed mark immediately made me think about parallax, which is what this activity was about. Parallax is when something seems to move depending on how you look at it. So what we've got here is an example of parallax error. So if you ever do like a GCSE science exam, you might need to write about it. You know, like if you've ever tried to read a thermometer, the temperature on a thermometer, the glass is quite thick. If you don't look straight at it, it's quite easy to read the wrong result. And that is because of this parallax error, that depending on where you're looking at it from, the mark seems to move. Here's the slide that I showed my IGCSE physicist when we talked about this. So you've got to make sure to avoid parallax error, so you get the right reading, you've got to make sure you look at it from straight ahead, or it won't work. And parallax is incredibly useful for astronomers. So if you hold your finger out in front of you, we've done this a few times on theatre science, hold your finger straight out in front of you, close one eye, and cover up something on the wall with your finger, right? A little mark or a bit of wallpaper or the clock or something. Have you done it? You line your finger up with something on the wall with one eye closed, and then open your eyes and close the other eye and see what happens to your finger. Your finger moves, right? Now your finger's not moving. You can feel that your finger is staying in the same place, but it very much seems to be moving because you're viewing it from a different angle. So one eye is seeing it from one way and one eye is seeing it from the other way. This is called, that's what parallax is. It's when something seems to move when you view it from different angles. It's why, you ready for my amazing PowerPoint effects? It's why if you're travelling along in the car, wait for it, the trees that are right next to you seem to move really quickly, but the mountains in the background stay the same. This is what it looks like from an astronomer's point of view. So the stars in the sky seem to move even though they're not moving because, right, here's the sun in the middle, this yellow ball. You've got the Earth going around the sun. If you imagine that the Earth is here on the far left-hand side, imagine that you're looking at this star. What you would see is these stars in the background. You'd see this star in the middle, and then you'd see those stars behind it. Now, Earth goes around the sun, so after a while, imagine that Earth is here on the far right-hand side. If you look at that star again, suddenly it looks like it's got completely different stars behind it. These ones on the left-hand side. So it looks like the star has moved, even though it hasn't. It's actually you that's moved. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, this, I think. And then this diagram is to show you that if the star's further away, then it moves less. So brilliant mathematicians and astronomers can measure this angle, and the parallax, like how much the star seems to move in the sky, tells us how far away it is. It's amazing, isn't it? That's so good. Now, full disclosure, I will admit, Shakespeare didn't know about parallax. Okay, he didn't. But what about this next bit? It is the star. So love. We're talking about love, right? Love is not love, which bends with the remover to remove. It is an ever-fixed mark. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. A bark means a ship, ship, bark, made of wood. So wandering barks, wandering ships on the sea, would use the stars to navigate. And Shakespeare definitely did know this. You can use the stars for all kinds of things. You can work out the angle. Well, anyway, you've seen Moana, right? Of course you have. Who hasn't seen Moana? One of the best Disney films ever made, in my opinion. There's this scene in Moana where she does this. She measures the angle between Orion's belt, there's 3 stars in a row, and the horizon, the line where the sky meets the sea. And this is because she is Polynesian, and the Polynesians were fantastic navigators. They were using this technique sort of 2,000 years ago, well before Shakespeare came along, to navigate on their ships. So Shakespeare definitely knew that, and I think that's what he's talking about. By the way, the stars do move, but very slowly. Usually when we see the stars move, it's because we're moving, but they do shift slowly. So apparently Disney for Moana, they talk to astronomers, and those stars are where they would have been 2,000 years ago. Isn't that cool? I like that idea. So when we talked about at the beginning, when I asked you, why if you take a picture of the stars with a camera overnight, do you get this circular pattern? It's not because the stars are moving, it's because Earth is moving, isn't it? Earth is spinning. So the star is kind of a fixed mark. But I think Shakespeare is going a little bit further and saying that love is not exactly saying that love is better than science. I think he might be having a little dig here, because he says love is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. I think he's saying, yeah, okay, fine, astronomers and mathematicians, you can work out how high the star is using your angles, but I don't think you know the star's worth. The star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown. Like, you can't measure the worth of a star, even though you can measure the height of it. I think maybe that's what he's saying. And then we get a sort of little theme twist here, and that is traditional in sonnets. You usually get a little bit of a turn, a little bit of a kind of change of idea after line 8, and that's called the volta. What a brilliant word. So we've had this idea that love is this fixed mark, sort of like a lighthouse, although I read about the history of lighthouses in the UK so that you didn't have to, and lighthouses weren't really on the go when Shakespeare wrote this, but some sort of ever fixed mark that doesn't move, even though maybe you're on a boat in a storm, that mark will always be the same. So love doesn't move. And then we get to love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Again, we've got that mention of a compass, so he's definitely tied those 2 bits together, either side of the volta. But then we start talking about more how love isn't affected by time either. So it's not affected by movement, it's not affected by space, if you like, and it's not affected by time. My God, this is the most scientific sonnet I've ever read. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. So love isn't affected by time. Even though people's looks are affected by time, love doesn't alter with time. And then you do get this really powerful conclusion here. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. That was a big deal, because at this point, Shakespeare is a very big deal. He's definitely writing. He's writing sonnets, and everybody knows that. So for him to say, if this isn't true, then I didn't even ever write anything, that's quite a big deal for him. Right, so before we go, I told you to bring a glass of water, and we're talking all about the stars, so I thought we've got to talk about why stars twinkle and planets don't. Did you know this? If you want to look at, so we'll just do this activity, then we'll do a little quiz, and then we'll finish. If you're looking at a beautiful white light in the sky at night, and you're wondering whether it's Venus or whether it's a star, one of the ways to tell is stars twinkle, planets do not twinkle. And I'll tell you why. If you brought a coin with you, can you just drop it into your glass of water? This is quite a good model for how we see the planets, okay? I want you to imagine that our eyes are Earth. So you're looking down, but imagine you're looking up. We're looking up at a planet, And in the way, in between us and the planet, is Earth's atmosphere, which is just loads and loads of air particles, okay? So we'll say that's the water. So we're looking up at the planet, and we've got all these air particles in the way, right? Now, how seeing things work is, certainly how seeing planets work is, and this coin, light from my room is bouncing off the coin and into my eyes, right? Light from the room is bouncing off the coin and into our eyes, and that's how we can see the coin. And that's how we see planets as well, obviously. They don't give off light, but the light from the sun bounces off the planet and into our eyes, and that's how we see it. Stars, I don't know if you know this, children, but stars are really, really far away. So the light that comes from a star is a tiny amount of light. It's a tiny little pinprick of light travelling all the way through space, right? So when you see a star at night in the sky, obviously the light from the star has travelled all out in all different directions, and some of it has made its way through the vacuum of space for just a phenomenal distance. But then it gets to Earth's atmosphere and it's got to go through all those air particles, and sometimes a little pinpoint of light, it just doesn't make it. So, well, I'll show you. Let's wiggle our glass around and imagine now that this light, well, we don't have to imagine, it is. Light is travelling from the coin to our eyes. But now Earth's atmosphere, these air particles, or the water in this model, is moving around and messing with the light. And look, it's twinkling, isn't it? Oh, God, I love this activity. I honestly can't remember whether I made this up or whether I stole it off somebody on the internet. But anyway, it's so good. So that's why stars twinkle like that. If you look at a star and it's twinkling, it's because that pinpoint of light, sometimes it's not making its way into your eye. It's getting knocked around by Earth's atmosphere, all the air particles, and not making it to your eye. So the star disappears, because if light isn't getting into your eye, you can't see it. So it's not there. And then when it comes back, that's because a tiny little bit of light has gone into your eye from the star. So when it's twinkling, it's literally because you're seeing it. And not seeing it, it's good, isn't it? It's good. So yeah, love, this sonnet tells us, is more fixed and more there than even stars. Amazing. Right, okay, are you ready for my quiz? I'm pretty happy with this one. I've got 4 multiple choice questions. We're going to play What is a Mystery Word? So you've got 4 multiple choice questions. You need to choose the answer that you think is correct and just write down the letter that goes with the right answer, okay? So in the end, you'll have answered 4 questions. You'll have 4 letters, and if you've got the answers right, you'll have the correct mystery word. But I've tried to do it so that if you get the wrong answers, you've still got a mystery word. A lot of different mystery words popping up on Facebook when I taught these yesterday. I've done something a bit new. I've done the first round of questions is the really hard version, to sort of so that you can guess or get your brain working a bit. And then I'll just give you the questions again, but I'll give you the normal versions of the question. So if you don't know the answer the first time, don't worry, it's because it's the hard version. Watch the questions again to get the normal version, and then we'll go through the answer. All right, here we go. So, sorry, I was propping you up on the coin. Get something else. Okay, so here are the first 4 lines of 2 sonnets. Which one is by Shakespeare? I'm not going to remind you of the rhyming structure of the sonnet yet, but I will do before I give you the answer. So don't worry if you don't know this yet. Here are the first 4 lines of 2 sonnets. Which one of these sonnets is by Shakespeare? Number 1. I think of thee. My thoughts do twine and bud about thee, as wild vines about a tree put out broad leaves, and soon there's naught to see except the straggling green which hides the wood. And number 2, that time of year thou mayest in me behold, when yellow leaves, or none, or few, do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bear ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. Which of those is by Shakespeare? If you think just number 1 is by Shakespeare, write a C. If you think that just number 2 is by Shakespeare, write a B. If you think they're both by Shakespeare, write an M, a M for mouse. Or if you think that neither of those are by Shakespeare, write an S. So if you're not sure, don't worry, because then I'll show you this question again, the normal version of the question, before I give you the answer. Okay, next question. Like I say, you'll get another chance to read it before I give you the answer. There's a word we've used this lesson that means when something seems to move when you view it from different positions. Can you remember the word we've used to mean when something seems to move when you look at it from different positions? You need the second letter of that the second letter of that word is the second letter of your mystery word, if you see what I mean. what's the word we use for when something seems to move, even though it's not moving? The second letter of that word. Can you write that down? But yeah, I'll make it a bit easier for you before I give you the answer. Number 3, you've got 3 of the same sonnet here. You don't need to read the sonnet, but which of these sonnets is labelled correctly? So number 1, the sonnet is labelled with volta in the middle and then rhyming couplet at the end. Number 2, the sonnet is labelled with rhyming couplet in the middle and volta at the end. Number 3, we've got parallax labelled in the middle and rhyming couplet labelled at the end. Which of those sonnets is labelled correctly? If you think that number 1 is labelled correctly, write an R, a R. If you think number 2 is labelled correctly, write an A. If you think number 3 is labelled correctly, write an I for insect. And if you think that none of those are labelled correctly, then write an O. Like I say, I'll move on because I'm going to give you these questions again. Which of these statements is correct? Stars twinkle and stars and planets both twinkle, write an R. Planets twinkle, stars don't, write an N. Neither stars nor planets twinkle, write a T. Or stars twinkle, planets don't, write a K. So if you think stars and planets both twinkle, write a R. If you think planets twinkle and stars don't twinkle, write a N. If you think stars and planets don't twinkle, write a T. And if you think stars twinkle and planets do not twinkle, write a K, a kicking K. All right, all those questions again, but the normal versions. So Shakespearean sonnets use the rhyme scheme A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. So which of these sonnets are by Shakespeare? Or is it both or is it neither? I think of thee, my thoughts do twine and bud about thee as wild vines about a tree put out broad leaves, and soon there's naught to see except the straggling green which hides the wood. And the second one? That time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bear ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. If just number 1's by Shakespeare, write a C. If number 2 is by Shakespeare, write a B. If they're both by Shakespeare, write an M. And if neither of them are by Shakespeare, then write an S. Okay, next one. There's a word we've used that means when something seems to move, when you look at it from different positions, it begins with a P. What's the second letter? So that word that I used to talk about, like, how you've got to be careful how you look at the temperature on a thermometer because you might get the line wrong. That's called a something error, or how we measure the distance from stars. Often we use this movement, apparent movement. So the second letter. Which of these sonnets is labelled correctly? So it's either number 1 or number 2, or both or neither. So if you think that the volta's in the middle and the rhyming couplet's at the end, then write an R. If you think the rhyming couplet's in the middle and the volta's at the end, write an A. If you think that they're both fine, write an I. And if you think neither of them are fine, write an O. And finally, which of these statements is correct? I mean, it's just the same because it's sort of a right question, isn't it? If you think stars and planets both twinkle, write an R. Planets twinkle, stars don't, write an N. Neither stars nor planets twinkle, write a T. And stars twinkle, planets don't, then write a K. Okay, shall we go through the answers? Good. So let's look at the rhyming structure of these 2 sonnets. So this first one, we've got bud, so that must be A. And then we've got tree, they don't rhyme, so we've got rhyme structure A and then B. And then the next one, gasp, C rhymes with tree. So that's B again. So the rhyming structure of this poem, this sonnet, is A, B, B, A. So it's not number 1. Number 2, behold and cold rhyme, and hang and sang rhyme. So the answer was number 2, your mystery word, starts with a B. This is, the other sonnet is written by a woman called Elizabeth Browning, who was writing in the 1800s. She wasn't allowed to marry her lover, so she wrote him loads and loads of these sonnets, Italian sonnets. She used the Italian style. And then they finally got married, and Mr. Browning said to her, "These are amazing, you should publish these." And she was like, "Oh no, they were just for you." He's like, "No, you really should." And eventually he persuaded her to publish them, and now everyone gets it confused with Shakespeare. And loads of quotes that we think are Shakespeare are actually Elizabeth Browning. It's a lesson for us all there, isn't it? It's a lesson for us. Just have a bit of confidence, people. What's the worst that could happen? Anyway, we've got a B. It was parallax, wasn't it? The word for when things seem to move even though they're not moving. So that second letter was an A. So we've got ba so far. The next word, or the next letter, it's the first sonnet that is labelled correctly. The volta is the name for the sort of slight twist or turn or change of tone in the middle of a sonnet. And the rhyming couplet is at the end. So it was R. So we've got bar. And stars twinkle, because sometimes they sort of get turned off and on by Earth's atmosphere. But planets don't twinkle because they're much closer. It's much easier for the light from planets to reach us. So the mystery word was bark, like a wandering bark. Oh, do you see what I did there? But if you got it wrong, you could have had mark, which was also a line from the poem. Or maybe you thought it was going to be bard because Shakespeare's called the bard. Ah, sometimes I really impress myself. Right, you lot. That is the end of the lesson. Thank you so much for joining me. My goodness, I enjoyed this one. So we've got one more Shakespeare lesson left. And we're doing another sonnet. Next week we're doing the sonnet, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely, etc, etc, etc. If you could bring with you an apple or some kind of food that goes brown very quickly when you cut it, that would be brilliant. Because again, we're just going to mush science and English literature together and look at preservation of things and also Shakespeare's sonnet. Right, I'm going to go over to my Facebook page now. My new Shakespeare page. My new Facebook page. Have you seen the news that my Facebook page got hacked on Saturday? So usually at this point I say to everybody, I don't have any comments on these YouTube lessons, but if you go over to my Facebook page, then I have put a post at the top of my Facebook page and you can go over to it and say hello, and then I go over now and I read all the comments out. But if you just search Theatre of Science on Facebook, you will get a page that has 44,000 followers, and now it's just pictures of women asking if you want to be friends with them. Do not be friends with those women. Find my new page, which is called Theatre of Science Official, okay? Theatre of Science Official. If you go to my YouTube, oh, maybe I need to update the About section. If you go to my YouTube homepage, go to my YouTube homepage, there's a video there which does link to it, okay? But I'll go over to my new Facebook page now and see if any of you have managed to find it. Oh, how exciting, the tension. If you're wondering how this works, right, if you're new and you're thinking, this is weird, she has not yet mentioned at all how she makes money. Is she funded by the government? No, this is actually my job. I will tell you how it works. So I'm just going to, where's my Facebook? Even I can't get to my Facebook page. Here we go, right. Yeah, okay, got to my Facebook page. Yes, how it works is, in the About section of this YouTube channel, you will find a link to this website called Coffee, and how it works is I just say to people, if you are enjoying these lessons, please could you send me £5 a month on Coffee? And it's amazing. Like literally everything that I do is free. You don't have to support me on Coffee to access anything. I've made it all completely accessible. So the lessons are free. They just stay on my website for watching on catch up for free. The printouts are free because they make the lesson more accessible as well. The homework PDF, if you watch my IGCSE physics lessons, they are free. It's all free. But I just say, if you're using me as a resource, if you feel like all this vast amount of work is worth £5 a month, then go to my Coffee page, sign up with £5 a month. And you are doing it, and so it is my job. It's a really cool business model, right? Like there's just loads of you, so if you each give me a £5, it's a job for me. And I do send you nice things when you sign up to sort of persuade you to do it, because this is clearly the best job ever, look at me. So if you sign up to support me with £5 a month, I will send you some rainbow glasses that make you see rainbows. They're amazing. They literally just, all the white light in the room gets split into rainbows. They're so cool. I'll send you a description I wrote about how they work, because I'm a physics teacher, so I can do that. And I'll send you Theatre of Science magazine. I'm kind of laughing because Theatre of Science magazine is the thing that doesn't have a deadline for me. Like the lessons, I have to have finished the lessons in time to go live. Theatre of Science magazine, I can just work on it and work on it and work on it until I think it's finished. And the last one has taken a year. But it's so close to being ready. We're literally just polishing it and making it look beautiful, and then it's going to go to the printers. So if you do send me £5 a month, it will be on its way soon. I'll let you know when it's at the printer so we can all start getting excited. But anyway, if you sign up to support me now, I'll send you a past issue to keep you tidied over. So you'll get this issue on mould along with your rainbow glasses if you sign up now. It comes with a free home compostable plastic bag, so you can grow some mould, study it, and then get rid of it in an eco-friendly way. It's got a comic about how penicillin was discovered. It's got lots of information about mould and fungus. It's got a choose your own adventure. I'm really proud of Theatre of Science magazine. I'm just not proud of how long it takes me to do. And if you sign up with £6 a month, You can sign up with like £20 billion a month if you like. But if you sign up with £6 a month, I'll send you another past issue, which is about sleep. Comes with some organic lavender and some material so you can sew a little sleep squish. It's got another comic about how we sleep. It's got some information about what happens when you dream. It's got an origami koala and a choose your own adventure. And yeah, the next issue, if you sign up now, you're on the list for getting the next issue when it comes out. And it's all about spies. I'm so excited about it. It's got James Bond jigsaw. It comes with this little bit of organic lavender so that you can sew your own... wait, no, I'm trying to read and think at the same time. It comes with a little bit of wax so that you can do this envelope folding activity and make your own little wax seal. Right, I'm just looking... What have I done here? This is a group... I'm so confused. What? I'm really confused because I'm looking at my Facebook page, but I'm seeing group posts. This is so... Right, guys, just help me out here. Help me out. This is my Facebook page. Right, this is my new Facebook page where I've had to sort of label the fact that I've been hacked, and this is my new Facebook page. Why am I seeing group posts and guest contributions? Oh, I need to view my profile. All right, so how it works is if you... wait, never mind. Yeah, I've got a Facebook page and a Facebook group now because I used to go live from my Facebook page, but now I have to go live from my Facebook group. It's a bit annoying and confusing. So if you go to my Facebook group, if you're accidentally in my group trying to write me a comment, if you click, that's what I'm seeing. Wow, you'd think I'd know this by now. It's been 5 years. If you click Theatre of Science, you come to this. And if you click View Profile, it takes you to my new Facebook page. There's my new Facebook page. There I am. So if I scroll down, then I get to your comments. Right, good. Here we go. There's your comments. Whew, we made it. Sorry, guys, we made it. Right, all comments. Laurie, it was Barg. Hello, Laurie. Took me a while there. At the start, I said Earth was moving and that's why the stars were circle. Well done, Bella. That is correct, yeah. Hello, Abba. Watching from a brand new bedroom in a brand new house. Oh, amazing. You made it. Oh, congratulations. That's so cool. Wow, your brand new bedroom. Oh, I'm quite jealous. I love it. I love a change of scene, me. I don't know. Hopefully you're dealing with it well. Different people handle moving in different ways, don't they? Hi for Magnus and Ash. We disagree. You think it's 3 for Taylor Swift. You've got less faith in Taylor Swift. Okay. Looking forward to the new magazine. Oh, good. Oh, Lego Story today. Thank you, Agnes and Ash, for reminding me. Lego Story today. If you're new and you don't know, I stream a Lego sort of show, science show every week as well. And it's on llamas versus alpacas today. So we're doing an activity. We'll learn about the difference between a llama and an alpaca. And then I'll tell you a little story with Lego at the end. Yeah, llamas versus alpacas, except we're not actually going to like make them fight or anything. You got goat! You're not actually being serious. What's this Henry saying? You should see the night sky in Exmoor where we live. Oh, yes, I should see it. I should see the night sky in Exmoor. But that's amazing. Here's a classic Henry Dragon picture. I've written about 8 pages of history in a writing book on my world with the dragons in the last 2 days. Oh, this world. Every time I come, this world's got a little bit richer. Okay, we'll have a look. Oh, wait! Henry, that's not a dragon. Oh! Whoa! Henry drew this. Look at this. Henry knows that Jurassic Park is my favourite film because it's the best film ever made. Look at that. Nice. I love how you're putting your dragon drawing skills to good use. That is so good. You've even got the little raptors. Yes. I love that bit. That is the best bit. I love how often that bit of Jurassic Park gets referenced in all the Jurassic Park films. Henry, there's another Jurassic Park film coming out this year. I'm so excited. Bella, I started making egg fried rice for breakfast today. Where's this going? I started making egg fried rice for breakfast today. It's a good gripping beginning to the story. Then realised that we didn't have any eggs. I love how you started making it. It's only got 2 ingredients. I ran to the shops. Luckily it's only a 20-second run from my house and got some eggs. Now eating my delicious egg fried rice. Wow, that feels like that should be a neat poetic form in itself. It's got a beginning, a middle and an end. I love it. You both got bark. Excellent. Good morning, Laurie. Hello. Hey, yes, Thomas and Isabella here. Almost like we were in Italy then with Thomas and Isabel are in France at the moment. And I think they're mocking my pronunciation of Italian. I think so. Can you believe that? They can't be. They can't be. It was so perfect. Edmund is excited to learn more about sonnets. All right, Edmund. He remembers first learning about them last year when he wrote this sonnet. It's not iambic pentameter because he didn't know about that at the time. Oh, that's interesting. It's like, here's the early works of Edmund when he was doing rhyme structure without iambic pentameter. Can I read it out? Well, I'll tell you what, you can. I'm sure Edmund won't mind. I don't think he'd have posted it if he didn't want us to read it. There once was a. So it's a bit limerick-esque, right? There once was a Teletubby called Poe. He liked Shanghai, but alas, he could not go. Why? Oh, that is beautiful. There once was a Teletubby called Poe. He liked Shanghai, but alas, he could not go. Why? Oh, do you know what? I love that you didn't know about iambic pentameter. This is so much more interesting, isn't it? That rhythm. Because on the plain, there might be a lycanthrope. A lycanthrope? For the moon was not in wane. He had used his telescope. God, this is brilliant. I'm embarrassed that I don't know what a lycanthrope is. Am I saying it right? Poe ate a scone, then got on the plain. By Wednesday he was gone, like a tiger's mane. Oh, you're a blooming genius. Like a tiger's mane, because tigers don't have manes. Gone like a tiger's mane. I'm keeping that. That's awesome. He saw... Oh, wait, this is a rhyming couplet. As he saw in his mind's eye, that day he did die. Oh, wow. Wow. Edmund, do you know what? I mean, I know a lot of your work now, but I wasn't not expecting that to be that good. That is mega powerful. Wow. Wow. By Wednesday he was gone, like a tiger's mane. Gone, like a tiger's mane. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. You guys are so talented. I love it. You're so inspiring. Loving all this information about Shakespeare. It's helping me, Mark, to understand the book better. All right, to understand this is very confusing because we have a message from Cheryl, but it says in brackets it's Mark. But Mark is also a word from potentially the mystery word. And Mark is linked to Star Wars, but it says that Star Wars is by William Shakespeare. What? And Mark is the famous actor from Star. This is too much, too many layers of meaning. Loving all this information about Shakespeare is helping me, brackets Mark, to understand this book better. William Shakespeare's Star Wars by somebody else. What? Verily, A New Hope. Okay, wow. Okay, so that's a book that I think yes. I think that's a book that a lot of the Science Alliance can get down with. Is that the story of Star Wars? Is that the story of Star Wars written by Shakespeare? That's very strong. That's excellent. Okay, let's... Oh, hello, Magnus. Magnus is here. Magnus, I'm sorry, it's taken me ages to really get to the comments today. And Holly and Sky are here. Hello. And Lana, Llama, Banana and Finley. Excited to do sonnets and learn what they are. I didn't know what they were. I just didn't know. I'm all about being in the plays. I'm not even really that big into poems. I'm certainly getting into them now. Jacob! I was in another lesson, but now I'm here. You were gone, like a tiger's mane. But now you're here, like a lion's mane. Hello, Matilda. Hello, Imogen and Ophelia, the most Shakespeare names in the comments. I'm watching two of you. Dexy, what are you talking about? You're watching two of me. You're watching two of me. What's gone wrong? What are you talking about? What's happened? You're watching two of me. I don't get it. What? Oh yeah, that's not... Is that today's lesson? What do you mean you're watching two of me? That's only one of me. I'm so confused. I'm sure that's just a picture of your TV with me on it, right? I'm looking out for the other me's. I don't know. Anyway. Let's go back to the... Dexy really confused me there. Are you in the room? My limerick about this lesson. Oh, hello. I really like this lesson. Now that's a big confession. With odd games to play, you've got a lot to say. I have. I'll tell everyone about this session from Lana, Llama, Banana. That's excellent. That is very good. Thank you. Hello, Aurelia. Hello, you. Hello. Hello, Edward and Annabelle and Evelyn and Rose. Hello, Bella and Emma. All right. And there's Dexy. And there's Jacob again. And there's Dexy. Oh, you are watching two of me. Oh, right, I see. You're double screening. I love it. Okay. Isabel and Thomas are watching live. I know it. Oh, they've replied. Always, your lessons are as fun as Disney at times. Thomas and Isabel say they were at Disney. Is it Disneyland or Disney World? I'm so cool. I don't know. They're the one in France. They were at Disney this week. And they've put, your lessons are as fun as Disney at times. I don't know if that's because sometimes my lessons aren't as fun as Disney, or sometimes Disney is not very good. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm reaching Disney's heights, or whether sometimes Disney is just like, it's raining and you just can't be bothered with another Mickey Mouse all up in your face and you're sick of sugar and blue drinks. I don't know. You can tell I've never been to Disney, I don't know. We can't watch today, but we'll see you later on Catch Up. Oh, that's nice. Hello, Marie and Marie's gang. Bark, indeed it was. And there is Shuki and Arza and Eunice and Salah and Musa. Hello, you lot. I'm so glad you found me. I'm very relieved. Okay, right, that's it. I better go because in 34 minutes' time I've got to stream Alpaca versus Llama. And I need to reset the Lego Story Show because it's a little bit messy. So I'm going to go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support this week when my Facebook page got hacked. I'm so glad that you all found me again. Thank you so much for your support, for your cash money, without which this job would not be possible. If you are new and you want to receive the rainbow glasses and the past magazines and you want to be on the list to get this new Spice magazine when it finally comes out, then do please sign up. Go to my About section on YouTube and click the link and I will post you something out. Thank you so much. I will see a lot of you in 33 minutes time. Bye.